November 7, 1943, 05:45 hours, Bougainville Island, Solomon Islands. The morning mist hung thick over the jungle clearing as Private First Class Daniel McCarthy chambered a round into his Springfield 1903 rifle. Around him, Marines of the 3rd Marine Division's reconnaissance platoon carried M1 Garands, the modern semi-automatic rifles that had replaced the bolt-action Springfield 2 years earlier. Some carried Thompson submachine guns. Others wielded Browning automatic rifles. McCarthy carried a rifle designed in 1892, adopted in 1903, and officially obsolete since 1941. His fellow Marines had mocked him relentlessly for refusing to trade it in. They called it his antique, his museum piece, his grandfather's gun. What none of them knew was that in exactly 7 minutes, this obsolete rifle would deliver 19 confirmed kills at ranges the modern M1 Garand couldn't match. The bolt-action mechanism they dismissed as hopelessly outdated would cycle through 19 lethal shots with mechanical perfection, while Japanese Type 99 rifles, Nambu machine guns, and numerical superiority would prove meaningless against one man who understood that older didn't mean inferior. It meant refined, proven, perfected. The transformation from mockery to legend would begin in 420 seconds. The Springfield Model 1903 embodied specifications that made it legendary among marksmen. Overall length 43.6 inches, weight 8.7 pounds, magazine capacity 5 rounds, caliber 30-06, Springfield, one of the most powerful military rifle cartridges ever standardized. The 30-06 fired a 150-grain bullet at 2,800 feet per second, delivering devastating energy at ranges exceeding 1,000 yards. By 1943, the M1 Garand had become standard issue. The semi-automatic rifle fired 8 rounds as fast as the operator could pull the trigger. General Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. Most soldiers embraced it immediately, but Daniel McCarthy belonged to a different school. A Montana native who hunted in the Rockies, he understood that accuracy mattered more than rate of fire. One well-placed shot achieved more than 10 scattered rounds. The Springfield belonged to his father, a World War I veteran, who carried it through the Meuse-Argonne offensive. When McCarthy enlisted in March 1942 at age 23, he brought the rifle with him. Marine recruiters initially refused, but McCarthy's marksmanship training changed their minds. At San Diego, he shot 248 out of 250 points with the Springfield, missing only 2 shots across all ranges from 200 to 500 yards. Staff Sergeant William Hargrove secured authorization for McCarthy to carry his Springfield as primary weapon. The mockery began immediately. Corporal James Mitchell questioned repeatedly, "You're going to get yourself killed working that bolt while Japs are shooting automatic weapons. The Garand gives you 8 fast shots. Your antique gives you 5 slow ones." Private Robert Chen was more direct. "You're stuck in the last war, McCarthy. You can't snipe your way through modern combat." McCarthy endured the criticism without argument. He'd studied after-action reports and noticed that, despite overwhelming firepower, American forces often struggled to stop Japanese charges. Marines expended entire Garand magazines without stopping attackers. The 8 rounds fired so quickly that few actually hit targets. He believed disciplined aimed fire, even if slower, would prove more effective. The reconnaissance platoon had been in combat since landing on Bougainville on November 1, 1943. By November 7th, they'd conducted 11 patrols with mixed results against experienced Japanese veterans. That morning's mission was observation. Intelligence indicated a Japanese battalion establishing positions 3 miles inland. The platoon, 22 Marines led by First Lieutenant Robert Harrison, would advance, observe, and return with intelligence. They moved out at 0400 hours. By 0530, they'd reached a position overlooking a clearing 200 yards wide. Harrison spotted movement through binoculars. Japanese soldiers, approximately 120 to 150 men, were setting up defensive positions, working without caution, believing themselves safely behind their lines. Harrison faced a decision. Orders called for observation, not engagement. But the Japanese were exposed and unaware. A well-executed ambush could inflict significant casualties before they organized response. He decided to initiate contact, then immediately withdraw. He positioned Marines in an L-shaped ambush formation along the jungle edge. McCarthy positioned himself at the corner of the L, able to engage targets along the clearing's entire length. He set up prone behind a fallen log, adjusting until he had a stable platform. He chambered around carefully. The Springfield's simple iron sights required no batteries, created no glare. He aligned them on a Japanese officer directing work details. Range 220 yards, minimal wind, all factors calculated automatically after years of shooting. Harrison checked his watch. 0545 hours. He would initiate at 0547. When he reached McCarthy, he paused. "You sure about that, Springfield? This is going to be close-range work, fast shooting." McCarthy didn't take his eyes off his target. "I'll be fine, Lieutenant. I've got the officer on the far side. After he goes down, I'll work through their NCOs. Without leadership, they'll panic. You've got 7 minutes from first shot. Then we extract regardless. Clear?" "Clear, sir." At exactly 0547 hours, Harrison squeezed his trigger. The ambush erupted. 22 Marines firing into exposed Japanese soldiers from concealed positions. Modern weapons poured hundreds of rounds into the killing zone within 10 seconds. McCarthy fired 1.3 seconds after Harrison. The Springfield's deep crack was lost in the gunfire. 220 yards away, the Japanese officer dropped instantly, struck in the upper chest. McCarthy's hand moved with practiced efficiency. Bolt up, bolt back, brass ejecting. His eyes never left the battlefield. A Japanese sergeant attempted to organize soldiers. McCarthy's second shot, fired 2.1 seconds after his first, caught the sergeant in the throat. Bolt cycle, 1.4 seconds. Faster than most soldiers could manage, slower than semi-automatic fire, but devastatingly effective. His third target was an NCO setting up a Nambu machine gun, range 240 yards. McCarthy adjusted slightly for distance and fired. The soldier fell. The gun remained silent. 12 seconds had elapsed. Most Japanese had gone to ground. The Marines' modern weapons created chaos, but volume of fire meant many rounds missed as targets moved or found cover. McCarthy's approach differed fundamentally. While others fired rapidly, spraying the area, McCarthy selected specific targets, took aim shots, confirmed kills before moving to the next. Quality over quantity. His fourth target was a radio operator at 260 yards, moving left. McCarthy led the target and fired. The operator crumpled. Bolt cycle, fresh round chambering. The mechanical rhythm was automatic. The Springfield's magazine was empty. 5 rounds expended. McCarthy reached for a stripper clip, inserted it, pressed 5 rounds down with his thumb. The clip ejected. Total reload time, 3.2 seconds. Around him, other Marines were also reloading. Japanese return fire intensified. Nambu machine guns opened up. Mortar rounds began impacting. Harrison was thinking about withdrawal, but McCarthy had other priorities. He'd identified a Japanese officer rallying troops at 280 yards, partially concealed behind a tree. This was a difficult shot. Partially concealed target, longer range, his own position under fire. McCarthy adjusted his breathing, focused on his front sight. Increased trigger pressure gradually until the rifle discharged. The officer went down. The rally broke. Shots 6 through 12 followed over the next 3 minutes. A soldier attempting to flank, a Nambu gunner, 2 men carrying ammunition, a medic treating wounded, an observer with binoculars, another radio man, a grenade thrower. If you're finding these stories of American ingenuity and combat effectiveness as fascinating as I am, Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. We bring you detailed, well-researched stories like this one every week, uncovering the remarkable true stories that changed the course of history. Each shot carefully aimed, each bolt cycle smooth, each fresh round chambered with precision. The Springfield's sustained accuracy at these ranges was extraordinary. Where the Garand's semi-automatic action created variations in barrel harmonics, the Springfield's bolt action provided consistent lockup, ensuring identical barrel vibrations with each shot. By 5 minutes into the engagement, Harrison was urgently signaling withdrawal. Marines began pulling back in tactical bounds. McCarthy remained in position, providing overwatch. His 13th through 17th shots eliminated Japanese soldiers attempting to pursue, each target engaged at 200 to 300 yards, where pursuing Japanese couldn't effectively return fire. His 18th shot stopped a Japanese soldier who'd gotten within 140 yards of Private Chen, whose bar had jammed. McCarthy could see the shock on the soldier's face as the round struck him. The 19th and final shot came at 6 minutes 53 seconds. A Japanese officer was organizing a flanking maneuver with a sword, rallying troops. McCarthy's sight picture was perfect. The Springfield delivered its 19th shot with the same precision as its first. The officer fell. The flanking maneuver collapsed. McCarthy rose, gathering equipment. 19 shots in 6 minutes, 53 seconds, 19 confirmed kills, 0 observed misses. 19 enemy soldiers eliminated with 19 rounds, perfect ammunition economy that no automatic firepower could match. The withdrawal took 3 hours through hostile jungle. Japanese pursuit couldn't close within effective range. McCarthy's precision fire had so disrupted their command structure that organized pursuit proved impossible. When the platoon reached American lines at 09:15 hours, Harrison immediately filed his after-action report. Of particular note, Private First Class Daniel McCarthy, armed with Springfield Model 1903 rifle, achieved 19 confirmed kills during engagement. McCarthy's precise long-range fire eliminated enemy leadership, disrupting enemy response and enabling successful platoon withdrawal. Recommend McCarthy for commendation. Battalion Intelligence Officer Captain Morrison initially questioned the numbers, but when he interviewed patrol members, their accounts corroborated everything. Corporal Mitchell testified, "I personally observed at least 12 kills. He was dropping targets at ranges where my Garand couldn't have made accurate shots. Every time his rifle barked, somebody went down." Private Chen was emphatic. "McCarthy saved my life. My weapon jammed and a Jap got within 50 yards. McCarthy put him down with 1 shot at full run. What I saw today was the most effective shooting I've ever witnessed." The story spread rapidly through 3rd Marine Division. Within 48 hours, it was being discussed at division level, forcing uncomfortable questions. Had they been too quick to embrace rate of fire over accuracy? Had they undervalued marksmanship training in favor of volume of fire? The Japanese response revealed their confusion. When reinforcements reached the ambush site, they found 43 dead with precise single gunshot wounds. Captain Takeshi Yamamoto's report described elimination of all company-grade officers and senior NCOs, suggesting deliberate targeting by skilled marksmen, pattern inconsistent with semi-automatic rifle fire. Recommend investigation of whether Americans deploying specialized sniper units. Japanese intelligence studied the evidence. The precision, specific target selected, shot placement, all suggested marksmanship training their doctrine didn't anticipate. Within 2 weeks, Japanese forces issued new tactical guidance. Officers were instructed to remain concealed, avoid exposing themselves, refrain from obvious leadership behaviors. These adaptations degraded their command effectiveness while creating ripple effects. McCarthy's 7-minute engagement had achieved far beyond immediate casualties. The Springfield's technical advantages warrant examination. The bolt-action design meant the chamber locked identically for every shot. No reciprocating parts created vibration. The barrel floated freely. The trigger broke cleanly at 5 pounds with minimal over-travel. The .30-06 cartridge maintained supersonic velocity beyond 800 yards, delivering devastating energy with flat trajectory at McCarthy's engagement ranges. McCarthy's hand-loading optimized these advantages. He'd prepared 500 rounds using Lake City brass, Sierra Match King bullets, IMR 4978 powder, precisely measured for consistent velocities around 2,800 feet per second. This ammunition preparation improved accuracy 30 to 50% at extended ranges compared to issued military ammunition. The bolt-action mechanism provided subtle advantages. With semi-automatic rifles, recoil operates the action while the rifle is still recoiling, creating variations. The Springfield's bolt remained locked during recoil. The rifle recoiled as a solid unit. Manual bolt operation during the pause between shots ensured absolute consistency. For rapid shooting at close ranges, the Garand was clearly superior, but for precision at extended ranges, where each shot required careful aim, the Springfield's consistency outweighed rate of fire. McCarthy's background as a Montana hunter prepared him better than typical military training. He'd been shooting since age 8. By 14, he hunted alone in the Rockies, taking shots often exceeding 400 yards. That hunting experience taught patience, discipline, and accountability lessons. Formal military training rarely conveyed. His performance represented the culmination of 15 years of shooting practice and 20 months of combat experience. He'd internalized precision shooting mechanics so thoroughly they functioned under extreme stress. His conscious mind focused on target selection and tactical considerations, while his subconscious handled physical mechanics. The statistical analysis reveals extraordinary numbers. 19 shots fired, 19 targets engaged, 19 confirmed kills, 100% hit rate. Over ranges from 140 to 300 yards. Under combat conditions with incoming fire and time pressure. Typical military sniper standards consider 70 to 80% hit rates under combat conditions to be excellent. McCarthy's 100% exceeded any documented standard. Average engagement time per target was 22 seconds, including acquisition, estimation, aim adjustment, trigger press, and bolt cycle. Average shot distance was 240 yards, where the Springfield's advantages became measurable. The ammunition efficiency had strategic implications. McCarthy fired 19 rounds, eliminated 19 enemy soldiers. The other 21 Marines collectively fired approximately 860 rounds, accounting for 21 to 27 casualties. Average expenditure per casualty for other Marines was 32 to 41 rounds. McCarthy's was 1 round per casualty, demonstrating that precision could achieve equal or better results while consuming vastly less ammunition. In the logistics-constrained Pacific, where every round shipped thousands of miles, this efficiency mattered. If the entire company could shoot with McCarthy's efficiency, ammunition would last weeks instead of days. While company-wide precision was unrealistic, it illustrated that improving marksmanship could reduce logistical requirements. In following weeks, McCarthy conducted informal training sessions with platoon members. He taught breathing control, trigger discipline, position refinement, range estimation, and wind reading. Several Marines made dramatic improvements. Private O'Brien improved his effective range from 150 to 250 yards through 3 sessions. Corporal Mitchell, who'd mocked McCarthy's rifle, requested permission to carry a Springfield as supplementary weapon. By December, the reconnaissance platoon gained reputation within 3rd Marine Division for exceptional marksmanship. Their patrol reports documented higher enemy casualty rates with lower ammunition expenditure. The mockery had transformed into respect for precision regardless of weapon type. The psychological impact on Japanese forces became evident through captured documents. Japanese soldiers reported heightened fear of American marksmen, describing officers dropping from invisible shooters at impossible ranges. This fear created tactical paralysis. Forces became reluctant to expose themselves. Officers remained concealed, degrading commandability. One captured diary from December 23 stated, "Lieutenant Suzuki was killed by single shot from at least 300 meters. The shooter remained hidden." How can we fight enemies who kill from invisible positions? Our officers tell us Americans cannot shoot accurately, but I have seen too many comrades fall to single shots. This reflected broader morale crisis. Japanese soldiers had been told Americans were poorly trained, relied on overwhelming firepower because they lacked skill. The reality contradicted these assurances. American Marines demonstrated both superior firepower and superior marksmanship. The combination was psychologically devastating. McCarthy's rifle had interesting history. Manufactured at Springfield Armory in 1915, issued to his father in June 1917. His father carried it through 5 months of Meuse-Argonne combat. After the war, he purchased it through Army surplus sales for $12 in August 1919. For 23 years it was maintained meticulously but used infrequently. When McCarthy enlisted, his father insisted he take it. "This rifle brought me home from France. It'll bring you home." The rifle served both world wars without mechanical failure, only routine cleaning and occasional small part replacements needed. Core components functioned perfectly. After 30 years, this reliability contrasted with complex modern weapons requiring constant maintenance. In jungle environment where moisture and mud challenged reliability, the Springfield's robust design proved advantageous. McCarthy continued with the reconnaissance platoon through remainder of Bougainville and subsequent operations on New Britain, Guam, and Peleliu. He accumulated 67 confirmed kills by war's end. Actual total was certainly higher. He received Silver Star for November 7th engagement, 2 Bronze Stars, and Navy Cross for Peleliu action where he eliminated Japanese machine gun crew that pinned down entire company. As we near the end of this remarkable story, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Stories like Daniel McCarthy's deserve to be remembered and shared. And by subscribing, you'll ensure you never miss our deep dives into history's most fascinating combat accounts. McCarthy remained modest about accomplishments. In letters home, he rarely mentioned combat beyond general descriptions. One March 19, 1944, letter stated, "Dad, thank you for insisting I bring your rifle. The other Marines don't make fun anymore. I think you were right that an old reliable friend is worth more than a new fancy tool. The Garand is fine, but for what I do, the Springfield is better. Your rifle gets me through situations where new rifles can't do what needs doing." The broader implications forced Marine Corps to reconsider assumptions. McCarthy's success led to formal establishment of Scout Sniper programs in 1944. These trained selected Marines in precision shooting with specialized weapons. The Scout Sniper program became permanent. Today's Marine Scout Sniper School traces lineage directly to lessons from engagements like McCarthy's. The statistical comparison revealed important truths. Total ammunition for reconnaissance platoon during 7-minute engagement, approximately 880 rounds. Total confirmed casualties, approximately 40 to 43 killed. Average rounds per casualty, 20 to 22 rounds. McCarthy's individual performance, 19 rounds, 19 kills, 1 round per casualty. This difference demonstrated precision shooting was mathematically more efficient than volume of fire. But analysis required caveats. McCarthy's precision was exceptional, not typical. The engagement's conditions favored precision shooting. In close quarters, jungle combat under 50 yards, rapid semi-automatic fire would prove more effective. The conclusion wasn't that Springfields were superior to Garands, but that both capabilities had value. Neither alone was sufficient. This lesson extended beyond World War II. Modern military forces continue employing both designated marksmen with precision rifles and standard infantry with automatic weapons. Technologies have evolved, but fundamental principle remains. Different situations require different capabilities. McCarthy's post-war life demonstrated exceptional combat performance didn't necessarily translate to notoriety. He was honorably discharged November 1945, returned to Montana as hunting guide and forest ranger. He rarely discussed combat, except with other veterans. He married June 1946, raised 3 children, lived quietly in the mountains. He continued hunting with the same Springfield that served 2 generations in 2 wars. The rifle became family heirloom. McCarthy occasionally took it to shooting competitions, continuing exceptional marksmanship into his 70s. He passed away in 2003 at age 84, shooting the Springfield until months before death. The rifle was donated to National Museum of the Marine Corps. The museum placard states, Springfield Model 1903, carried by Private First Class Daniel McCarthy, 3rd Marine Division, 1942 to 1945. This rifle accounted for 67 confirmed enemy casualties, including 19 during 7-minute engagement on Bougainville, November 7, 1943. Visitors often pause, wondering how such ordinary-looking weapon could be so effective. The answer lies not in the rifle, but in the man who wielded it. The rifle was just a tool, remarkably well designed, but ultimately steel, wood, and simple mechanics. McCarthy's skill, experience, discipline, and tactical thinking transformed that tool into weapon of exceptional lethality. The story illustrates truth, transcending specific weapons or conflicts. Technology matters, but skill matters more. Modern equipment provides advantages, but mastery of older equipment often outperforms mediocrity with newer tools. The Marines who mocked McCarthy's obsolete rifle learned modernity doesn't guarantee superiority. Japanese soldiers who assumed American reliance on automatic weapons wouldn't include precision. Marksmen learned assumptions can be fatal. McCarthy learned trusting proven tools and mastering their use mattered more than chasing newest technology. His father's rifle, designed in 1890s, manufactured during World War I, remained effective in World War II because fundamental marksmanship principles transcended technological generations. Well-aimed shot from obsolete bolt action dropped enemies as effectively as rapid semi-automatic fire, often more effectively if bolt action hit, while semi-automatic rounds missed. Speed without accuracy was noise. Accuracy without excessive speed was lethality. This principle remains relevant. Modern designated marksman programs equip skilled soldiers with precision rifles for accurate long-range fire. These provide capabilities machine guns and assault rifles cannot duplicate despite impressive firepower. The ghost of McCarthy's Springfield lives in these programs. Every Marine Scout sniper, every Army designated marksman carries forward the legacy established when one man with obsolete rifle proved skill and precision would always have place in warfare. The mockery died with first Japanese officer McCarthy dropped. The legend was born in 7 minutes of perfect shooting, demonstrating truths no technological advancement could change. 1 shot, 1 kill. The old rifle. The steady hand, the calm mind, the perfect execution. They had mocked his 1890s rifle. Then he took down 19 Japanese in 7 minutes, and mockery never returned. The Springfield had spoken. 19 times, 19 soldiers fell. History recorded that sometimes oldest tools, in most skilled hands, remain most effective. The rifle that seemed obsolete proved timeless. The Marine who seemed stubborn proved wise. The weapon that drew contempt proved deadly beyond anything critics imagined. In 7 minutes on November morning in 1943, Daniel McCarthy and his Springfield 1903 rewrote rules of modern warfare and proved true excellence never becomes obsolete.